Hello friends, welcome to second lecture on simple stresses and strains. In last lecture we have studied equilibrium, rigid body, deformable body, then concept of stress, types of stresses, then concept of strain and types of strains. So in this lecture we are going to study stress strain curve for ductile and brittle materials. So we'll start with stress strain relationship, actually basics of stress strain relationship or stress strain diagram. So that stress strain relationship is calculated or found by using testing the material on UTM, that is universal testing machine. So here on your screen you are observing one real-time picture of UTM and one block diagram for UTM. So UTM is having different components like upper crosshead, then middle crosshead or movable crosshead, lower crosshead, then there will be dial indicator, and will be having valves to control the movement of upper crosshead and lower crosshead. Also will be having different buttons to operate the movable or middle crosshead of the UTM. Now if you see the actual photograph of UTM, it will be having upper crosshead. It is connected to non-threaded rigid column. It is rigidly connected to lower crosshead by using these two columns. Now second, that is movable or middle crosshead. It is connected to threaded column. Two threaded columns are provided and it is attached to this threaded column, and it will be operated by using electric drive or electric motor. So that will be moving this middle crosshead in upward or downward direction depending upon the requirement. This upper crosshead and lower crosshead are rigidly connected by solid column. The whatever displacement of that lower crosshead will be transferred directly as it is to upper crosshead. Middle crosshead will not be in connection with upper crosshead and lower crosshead. Now during testing, the specimen will be mounted in the space between middle crosshead and upper crosshead for tension, and for compression, shear, bending, that component or testing specimen will be mounted in between middle crosshead and lower crosshead. So this is definition of strength of material, that it is ability of material to sustain load without undue deformation or failure. The property is inherent in the material itself and must be determined by experiment. So we need to determine the strength of material by using experiments. So that we'll get the values of different properties of the material. In strength of materials, we are going to study different properties of materials. Elasticity is one of the property of material. This property is useful for today's explanation, so I included it in today's video. So elasticity is property of material due to which material regains its original size and shape after removal of load. So whenever you apply certain amount of load on a material will respond to that applied load by changing its size and shape. That means if you are applying tensile load, then it will elongate, and if you are applying compressive load, then it will contract. So whenever you remove that load, material will come to its original size and shape. So this is one of the important property of material due to which the material is going to its original size and shape after removal of external loads. Now we'll see stress strain curve for ductile material. So this is the curve of stress versus strain for the ductile material. Before going to this curve, we'll start with the specimen, standard specimen. So whichever material you want to test, you need to make this specimen or standard specimen as per given dimensions. After making standard specimen, you need to load this standard specimen in UTM that will be held in between upper crosshead and middle crosshead of the UTM, and the load will be gradually applied on the specimen for tensile testing. Now for stress strain curve, stress will be taken on y-axis and strain will be taken on x-axis. Now if this material is applied by certain amount of load, will be having value of stress and value of strain for that particular load. Stress value is calculated by using sigma by A, or stress is equal to force upon area. So you are knowing stress is equal to force upon area. Will be having cross sectional area or diameter of this standard specimen, and force will be measured by using UTM, and strain, that is small e, will be equal to change in length. So I will write here dl divided by L, that is original length. So that gauge length will be marked over this standard specimen, and change in that gauge length will be recorded by using UTM, so that we'll get the value of corresponding strain. And for number of reading will be taken for different loads, and stress value and strain value will be noted. And after completing this test, you can plot the graph of stress versus strain, or stress on y-axis, and by taking stress on y-axis and strain on x-axis, you will get the curve in this way. This is the stress strain curve for ductile material. So the computerized arrangement will be capable to plot this graph of stress versus strain depending upon the values of stress and strain for particular value of load. So after getting this stress strain curve, will be having number of important points. These are the regions on the curve. Depending upon the response of material, these are named as elastic, then yielding, then hardening and necking. So these are this portion, or within this portion, that material will act as elastic material. Then we'll be observing some yielding in this region. After that, we'll be observing strain hardening in this region, and lastly, after getting this point, we'll be having necking. That means there will be reduction in the particular cross section area of this standard specimen, and after that we'll get fracture point or fracture. We'll see important points on stress strain curve. First point is proportional limit. So proportional limit is the limit or the point up to which stress is directly proportional to strain. So this is the point up to which stress is directly proportional to strain. This is important point. Next, there will be elastic limit. So here on this curve, we are not observing that elastic limit. So elastic limit is the point up to which we get complete retraction of the size and shape after removal of load. So that will be available after proportional limit, and below the yield point stress, that is yield point. This third point is yield point. So the elastic point is upper yield point. From this point, there will be permanent deformation. This point is called as upper yield point. After this point, we'll see or we'll observe the permanent deformation in the material or the specimen after removal of load. Then after getting upper yield point, we'll see some fall in the curve, or there will be reduction in the stress value, and at this region we'll get one more point. That point is also called as yield point, but it is a lower yield point. It is called as lower yield point, where that stress value is lower than initial stress value, that is stress value at upper yield point. So this point is called as lower yield point, and after getting lower yield point, we'll see the curve or the stress will be increased in this way as load is increased, increased strain value. So next point or important point on this curve will be ultimate stress point. So The ultimate stress point is point where we'll get maximum stress value for that particular material before failure. So this is the maximum amount of stress which will be taken by the material before failure. And last point, after getting ultimate stress point, we'll observe neck formation in the specimen. So after getting ultimate stress point, we'll see fall in the curve, that is stress strain curve will be falling in this way. That means stress value is reducing and strain value is increasing, and we'll see neck formation in the standard specimen where material is going to fail at certain point. So this point where material is going to fail or material fails is called as fracture point or fracture stress. Now this part we have already seen. This is for ductile material. These are the point on ductile material stress strain curve. That is first point proportional limit, second elastic limit, then upper yield point, lower yield point, ultimate stress point, and fracture point. So here you can observe this curve for ductile material. Now for brittle material, it is not the case, as brittle material will not show any observable change in length during testing. So we'll get the stress strain curve in this way, that stress value is increased and strain value is also increased, but we will not see observable change in the length or dimension of that brittle material. But for design we need some value of that yield point value or some value of strength. For design purpose we need to find that value of strain, so that value will be calculated by using this line here. 0.1 to 0.2% offset is taken and the parallel line will be plotted to stress strain curve, and whenever that parallel line intersect the stress strain curve, that point is called as yield point at offset. So that this is taken as, this value is taken as yield point stress, or it is also called as proof stress. This value will be useful for designing the component from brittle material, and will directly see fracture point without getting any necking, or there will not be necking formation in case of brittle material. Here this point is important one for brittle material, and for ductile material yield point will be important because we are going to design many components on yield point stress only. So in this way we can see important points on stress strain curve for ductile as well as brittle material. If you are having any doubt, you can comment in the comment section. I will try to explain it in better way. Thank you all of you. Thank you for watching this video.